So yeah, what's up guys? On today's video, I'll be taking you out through what I'm looking for the week. The truth is that I trade all forex pairs. I trade almost all, like I trade Nasdaq, SP 500, US 30, and I trade GL 40. I trade crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I trade all forex pairs. I trade gold and silver too. So I've gone through my watch list for the week, and I saw just three setups: GBP NZD, AUD USD, and NZD JPY. So I'll be taking you out through what I'm seeing for the week and the setups. So first of all, if you look at GBP NZD, since 2023, it has been on a very strong uptrend. It has been following this trend pattern, so it has been on an uptrend. So higher chance that it will still be on an uptrend, except it broke out of this uptrend. The month is not yet over. It might, like, the body of the candle might want to come back in, but I feel like it has broken out already. So I feel like from now I'll be looking at sales from the monthly time frame. You get, I'll be looking at a short sale, although it's still bullish to probably above here, but I'll still be looking at sales for the month. But yeah, prices don't just sell, they retrace to sell. So as price is being here, I'm looking at something like this. Going up here to probably this demand zone, then start selling. You feel me? More like retracing upward to that other block to start selling. So for the retracement, I can still try to catch the upward movement. So on the weekly time frame, what am I looking at? If you still look at the monthly time frame, you would see something like this. I don't know. I personally trade liquidity based concept. So I don't know if you are saying things like me. So personally, I'm seeing something like this. Then a first break and a second break. Then price coming back to mitigate this zone. Then probably, even though it's going to sell, at least come back up to somewhere like this before it starts selling, or probably break above it because it's still on an uptrend. So anyways, I'm looking to catch the move. I don't know if you get. So like, with that being said, if you go down to the weekly time frame, what are we seeing? Why I'm checking the weekly is because it's just the beginning of the week. So I have things to check on the weekly. So if if you are checking on the weekly, you see that there's another block here, and price has tested that zone two times. Like, it rejected off that zone two times, so making it a very strong zone. So I'm looking I'm looking at a buy to probably zones above here, or probably above here, anyone, but I'm looking for buys. That's for the weekly. Then if you come down to the daily, what is price doing? Nothing much. But in the daily, it will help you to really identify the zone where price was um was reacting from. If you are looking at the zones, you'll be looking at somewhere here, somewhere here. Then the liquidity, you get. So more like, I'm still looking at buys. And personally, I take my trades off 4 hours time frame. So yeah, 4 hours or at least 2 hours. You get. So if you trade liquidity based concepts, and you are looking at this chart with everything we are saying, you'd only come up with one, you'd only come up with one structure, except some people that cannot be patient to wait for price. They might want to. Price can also do it, but I don't feel like it, because price opening on Monday, it might want to come below here. But some people might want to take the buys from here, because if you look at it somehow, from a 1 hour time frame, you see that there's also a liquidity here. But if you look at it from a more perspective zone, then you see that here is a liquidity too. This is a liquidity. So what are we looking at? I'm looking at, first of all, price broke below this low, first break of structure, second break of structure. So now I'm looking at price to sweep below this liquidity, come here, and I'll take my buys probably to here or to above here. Then I'll do it and see what price is doing. I will not just chase the market because I feel like it. So that's what I'm looking at. So if I'm to take my buys, then I'll take this as my order block and as my entry. Let me change the color of this to ash. I'll take it as my other block and my entry. I'll place my buys here, put my stop loss below here, then targets probably here, or make it 3RR, or I might just target here, anyone, but let's keep it low here, 3RR better. Or some people might want to use here. People that trade Quasimodo might want to use here for their entry, then they'll take their trades off here, put their stop loss below here, then targets here. You are still right, but me, I rather wait for the other block. You feel me? So this is what I have for this week on GBP/NZD. Let's go to AUD USD. On AUD USD, if you check out for the monthly time frame, what would you see? If you check out on the monthly time frame, you see that it's purely bullish. It is very, very, very bullish. If you check the weekly, on the contrary, you see that, okay, in the weekly, there is something like a liquidity here, and there is another block above here. One thing that I've tried to figure out, one thing that I've tried to figure over the years is that price always tends to respect an opposing direction of liquidity. Price always tends to respect an opposite direction of POI. So even though price is bullish, but seeing a POI here, I cannot just ignore it, and there are still gaps to fill below here. So I'm thinking price should retrace a bit to somewhere here, then start buying again, or probably, even though it does not get down here, but I'm looking at price being bearish for some time. So if you go to the daily, what can we see? In the daily, I don't know if you see what I'm seeing. So but in the daily, I'm seeing a first break and a second break. That means I'm seeing double breaks of structure. I use this line chart a lot to show me the clear movement of price. This line chart helps me with identifying if there is truly a break of structure in price or not. So going back to the candle, I'm seeing a double break. Going to the 4 hours where I take my entries, it's not all that clear, but there is another block here. So what will I do? I'll wait for price to tap in this other block. I will not sell immediately. If price taps in the other block, then I might want to use a confirmatory entry for this particular trade. Why? Being because there is a breaker block here and there's another block here, and price reacted off of it. So it might want to sweep above. So I would want to wait and look at price. If price taps this other block, I want to wait and see what it does. Or I might just sell immediately. Sell from here down to somewhere here. But more case scenario, I'm going to wait for what's it called, for a confirmation entry. That's for AUD USD. So let's get down to the last one. The last one is NZD JPY. In NZD JPY, what am I looking at? First of all, let's start from the weekly because it's a new week. So there is a breaker block here. There's a breaker block here, and if you go to the daily, how I trade, I don't know how y'all trade, but how I trade, I think there's a breaker block here too. So price has mitigated this zone. In my say, price has mitigated the zone. And if you look at the line chart, you see that yes, there was a first break in price and there is a second break in price. Price using here as liquidity. Price is coming down to this zone on the daily, but I don't trade off the daily. So what am I waiting for? I'm going down to the 4 hours. There's nothing really clear here. There's nothing really clear here on the 4 hours, but I might just start the week. But if you look at here, you see that there's a liquidity here. There's a liquidity here, and there's a mini order block here, and price has tapped that other block. So starting from the week, you might just want to buy from here, put your stop loss below here. That's if you can contain it. Then target this high. It's not even up to 2RR, or just try to curtail your stop loss. I don't know how you all do it, but for me, I've tried to wait for a confirmatory entry on the 1 hour time frame. Why I'm using 1 hour is that I might not want to wait for the 4 hours. Not like I might not want to wait, but I'm looking at price from the 1 hour perspective. If I see any clean double break of structure and price mitigating the area, I'm probably going for the buys on NZD JPY. So those are the 3 trades I'm looking for the week. So good luck in your trading. Good luck, yeah, and peace out.